Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Innovative, revolutionary, stellar development, purest universal knowledge. In a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new GANs plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural, balanced, energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural, original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balance fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered, which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system. hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection, as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists, and healthcare centers. The Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the future you have been waiting for, is here. The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information.
Hello and welcome everyone to the 379th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, May 6, 2021. This is a production of the Keshe Foundation Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond and I'll be a host today. And of course, we are joined with Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. I think he's ready to go with today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, good morning. Good day to you, as usual, wherever, whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation broadcast. We welcome you back to the new set, new understanding, new teachings, and at the same time, we start expanding the knowledge. In the past weeks and in the past few months, we have set up to understand the teachings, to understand the quality of the process of the conversion of information into what we call, you don't have a picture there, into the conversion of understanding of the totality. In so many ways, the knowledge and the understanding of the transfer of energy and magnetic fields of the soul of the man, into conversion and addition into emotion, into physical motion of the body of the man, becomes part of the next step of the teaching. What does this mean? Is that for a source to give a command and for the receiver to receive that command and act upon it, it needs to understand that both have the same kind of structure of information. What does this mean? Is that if the soul of the man sends an information that in interaction with the information or connection of the what we call data is the same, that they can be read by both sides, it means that the soul of the man and the soul of the physicality of the man has access to both sides. It's just going through the deciphering that the physical part of the body of the man can understand. What this means is that the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man have a feedback loop where, if I can have the whiteboard, please, where in this process, the soul of the man, I have to clean this out. Where the soul of the man transmits an information, and the soul of the physicality of the man receives this information in one form or another directly into it. But the soul of the physicality sends the message that what is received, what he understands from the body, to the soul of the man. And in that process, somewhere in between, they understand, they interact. And this is what we call the emotion. The soul of the physicality sends his message through the blood circulation. And in so many ways, it encompasses both. In a way, if you look at this as the skull of the man, and the blood circulation inside it, the information in different strengths of emotion has created different angles, different positions for different information. This one is the emotion for happiness. At this strength, the emotion is for, let's say, joy. At this, we have the fear. So in the interaction of these strengths of emotion, which comes through the blood circulation, different position of the brain become allocated for certain position. And this is why the brain of the man shows specific positions, as we talked last time, for specific characters, certain behaviors, certain emotion. And these all interactions have their own position of interaction in the brain of the man. In fact, what we see, this is how the brain of the man in its interactions creates different position within the physical structure of the brain for different behavior, different understanding, and different physical reactions. Because immediately behind this sits the what we call secondary blood circulation, which takes the reaction of the emotion back to show in a physical condition where this is your arm, this is your upper arm, and in the center goes your shoulder and the thumb, and then the sole of the man. Now, physically, we can position emotion and the interaction and the strength of the fields, which creates emotions in the interaction between the soul of physicality and the soul of the man. Up to now, the scientist tells us if this is your brain, as we said before, this is the place where we see the speech, talk, whatever, laughter, whatever. Now, scientifically, we can pinpoint it, why it happens. Because the joy comes in at a given strength into the blood circulation of the man. And when it meets the same kind of strength from the soul of the man, which has a line of communication, then it transfers its interaction at that point into the soul. And then in interaction with the cells of the body of the man, which carry the same responsibility, reacts in the what we call blood circulation of the what we call dimension of soul of physicality. And at the same time, the same information, as he understood, goes down the neural system. This is the continuation of the access of the soul to the physical body. And in that process, where the information coming from the soul of physicality and information coming through the neural system creates, as we said, the interaction at given point in the body of the man. For example, if you are running and something suddenly bites you on the leg, you don't kick with your arm, the left arm or the right arm. If you're bitten by the left leg, you kick it by the left leg. So the both processes, what we call now even reflexes and reactions, shows the information so rapid, transferred both through the emotion of fear and the emotion of the interaction of response, that we create what we call reflexes. Or in the cases of father, the emotion creates with a cancer of prostate, as we've spoken about, or with a breast cancer, which side of the mother's body to be. On the left side of the process of the feedback of the information, you get the cancer on the left, and the other side, you get cancer on the right. Now, with a new understanding and the comprehension of the magnetic field and the strength of the fields of the soul of physicality and interaction with the soul of the man, we can now pinpoint with accuracy what strength fields we need for every reaction. In the coming time, we deliver technologies which can give you the strength of the fields for these reactions. There is no need for medication, because now we understand the process of the plasmatic interaction in a dimension of nuclear plasma, because these are created on the condition of the radiation of the plasma, not the plasma itself. The plasma to transfer information from the plasma of the what we call the soul to the soul of physicality takes time, but physical, what we call plasmatic radiation, which is coming to be taught, will react much faster. This is one of the reasons that in the future we show you how we grow. If, for example, you lost the finger, we can grow the finger without actual position of the physicality of the man, because we use the field interaction in where it has sat, where it has been, and the field interaction where the finger is missing will create that image. This is why I explained in the teachings in the past that If in your body you have the two kidneys, and if the two kidneys go by accident, has to be taken out, or dysfunction, or they're taken out, we can create the fields within and through understanding the soul of physicality and the soul of the man, and lead to the creation of the kidney. This is literally a radical change in the world of science and technology and physiology of the man and creation of every part of the man. This is why up to now, the world of science has had problems with this to create. And once you understand this process, then you understand we need to radiate from the soul of the man to any position in the universe to lead to manifestation of the man in a dimension of the soul at a time and position. This is why a lot of time in the past months, I keep on talking about transmutation of the magnetic field, transmutation of the field. Now you understand what we were teaching, where it's coming to. Because up to now, no one could understand this process. You don't need to produce painkillers or whatever else if you have the strength of the motion of the pain and you can understand to which part is allocated, that you can produce the right strength information to alleviate the pain in that point. This is what your gas CO2 and Zn does when you burn yourself, when you put your finger in the gas water. Because the gas water has what we call a soul. It has dimension in the structure as your body is made. So interaction is very rapid. Now you understand that in the process of the teaching in the past months and weeks, we were heading for transmutation of the fields and energies through understanding of the new technology. This is what I said in the past teachings. When you understand this, you become the medicine man of the universe, not the medicine man of the man. The development and the technology of the transmutation of energy after June of this year will transfer to Iran through Iran National Defense University. We concentrate all our efforts to rapidly develop this in conjunction with the Iranian nuclear physicists, Iranian medical people in the space technology, in conjunction with the Chinese, very rapidly, and other nations, to bring the space technology to a new understanding and with it move the world of medicine to a new dimension. When I explained in the last teaching, somebody asked me a couple of times before in American teaching about what I don't do for my hay fever. It took me a second because I understood this process fully. And you see, today I'm with you without any sign of hay fever. And if you listen to the recording of past 8 years, around this time, I suffer heavily. In this process, we try to understand, we try to create a condition of the process that even in a deep space, even if you are touched by what we call viruses, you create the balanced virus energy and you dilute it. You don't need to wait. The process of understanding of the technology on the strength of the mutation of the field is upcoming and a new science for man to develop. With this, you don't need fertilizers. With this, you don't need herbicides. With this, you don't need to have the gold and the silver. With understanding of the transmutation and interaction of the fields, the way the body of the man creates organs, is the cornerstone of the new development for space technology, be it on transmutation of the man, being on transportation of the soul, be it on feeding the animals, or transferring fields across the body of the man, that the man does not kill to eat, to survive, to be able to be a dynamic magnetic gravitational field in the nuclear plasma technology. This is a revolution in science and the knowledge of man. And this is what we promise you. After 21st of April, we'll change the course. But we have made a foundation for knowledge seekers to be able to understand that when we start this process, we all are knowledgeable to know what to do. The knowledge of the Keshe Foundation does not sit with ganses and does not sit with dynamic ganses. In the process and understanding of the new science, we have understood the technology. Now is time to apply it in a correct way. You have to understand, due to the heartbeat of the man, you have to have what we call balanced beat, which comes from the body of the man. That beat allows the interaction of the fields at given point to lead to creation of that organ, that cell. So it's not just sending a continuous beam, but it has to have a soul of the plasma heartbeat, which means that a heartbeat has to have both gravitational and a magnetic field strength that can interact with the heartbeat of the cell of the man or any entity in the universe. When we want to travel the depth of the universe, even from the earth to the sun, the replication of the gravitational magnetic field of the earth and the sun has to contain the heartbeat of both the sun and the earth. And which one changes in the speed allows the other one to attract the lover's pull. In so many ways, mankind enters a new dimension of the science and technology. A knowledge he never had, and the knowledge is essential for man to become the passengers and travelers of the universe. You cannot take with you the waters and the breads and the food to travel for centuries into the depth of the universe, where you can, through the heartbeat, carry the emotion of what you might need, or you receive it without emotion, but as an essential part of the keeping the both entities beating and so on. In the other hand, this itself is connected and connected. And this itself is connected and connected. This heartbeat in a different strength connects with the galaxy, and this connects with the center of the universe and beyond with Unicos, where the same heartbeat from the earth comes to man, and then from subsystems of it. In a way, we carry, if you understand, the totality of the soul of the Creator in one way or another. And as we receive the gravitational field facts of it, does the same in so many ways, the reverse will take place. And this is how we are connected to the soul of the Creator. Then we understand, if we manage to create a field at this position within the strength of the soul of the man that matches this point, we can frog jump, frog leap. This is how I say a man, a farmer, a peasant, in the fields of Africa, in creating the right strength, can reach the strength of the soul of the creators at higher position than the man who prays in the mosque and the church and falsify the emotion that he goes this direction. Further from the soul of the creator, further from the knowledge of the truth and reality of the creation. In so many ways, the process of understanding of the new plasma technology in the strength of the soul of the man, in the strength of the transmutation of the fields of the nuclear plasma technology, allows man, in truth, to, in a way, not to fiddle, but in a way to understand the process of the motion in either way. In so many ways, we choose by our conduct and behavior how to position this and how to position this, or we decide to go this way. This way is what the prophet of the past called hell. And this way is the path to what you call to heaven, or being closer to the understanding, the knowledge of the Creator. But in both the soul of the man and the soul of the Creator exists the motion of the both. This is part of the total understanding what we call transmutation through plasma technology. And for it to be strengthened, that you reach in the field the fact that you can absorb to increase the plasma is nothing but the knowledge of nuclear plasma technology. Because we have to create fields which reaches, which allows to be absorbed. Thus, it's very, very difficult to amalgamate what we call the fields of the plasma, but we can enhance the fields of the plasma by interaction absorption of the what we call nuclear plasma radiation at the plasma level. This is why I said mankind left the nuclear technology at the height of his understanding, abandoned it for patents, what we call energy from nuclear industry. This is why it is essential for all of us as a human race to understand the truth about our lives. Maybe now we understand, as we said many times, we worked with B12 and B9 and B6, which is hidden in the knowledge as nuclear sources. But to be able to travel the depth of the universe, to be able to travel in all dimensions, mankind needs to be able to create all the strength of what we call radiation in a plasma level respectfully and understand it and add to it that allows his soul to be elevated to reach to the understanding the soul of the Creator. This is what we do with eating. We gradually feed the soul with every bite, with every breath we take, with every water we drink from this planet. The whole purpose is not to just move the man, but is gradually to strengthen the soul of the man, that this soul gets enough strength that it can pass the boundary of the physicality at the point of death, that it can choose which path it takes to the Creator. And if it is of the lower order, will take this path. This is how you become another son in between the Creator and the soul of the man. This is the principle of the work of the universe. This is why mankind is so heavily involved in eating up. Get as much energy as possible that I can elevate this, that I can take the path Your soul does it unconsciously, but it's part of the process of your RNA, it's part of the process of your DNA. And in that process, you age, burning the physicality, sacrificing the physicality for the elevation of the soul of the man. The fountain of youth does not sit in the physical condition. The fountain of youth sits in the essence of the elevation of the soul of the man, that the physicality is not needed to burn out, to justify, to create a condition for elevation of the soul of the man in his path in either way. Now we understand more. Now we become part of the structure of the creation in what we call plasmatic condition, or, as we said, energy in a plasma condition, or what we call plasma in a dynamic motion. As I explained to our Iranian teacher teaching last night, in the Farsi teaching, we don't see a dynamic brain, liquid rotating at high speed, because you thought you can create the dynamic reactors so the brain is static, but still moves in a high speed in plasma condition as a gas. We need to go a step further. We see a spread of life in the dimension of physicality in different ways. We see radiation plasma technology at the field strength of the universe. We see the strength of plasma technology at the strength of galaxies. We see strength of the solar system, and we see the strength of the man structure. In the body of the man is one of the first places where we don't see dynamic motion, where the compromises between different magnetic field strengths in the radiation field has allowed the man to work through the dimension of the brain, the static correlation. And each one of these has a specific gravitational plasmatic magnetic field radiation that the man has to understand. Till you do not understand these plasmatic magnetic fields, you do not create the rays, as is in the book number 2, to be able to create what we call transportation. You travel at the fields of the rays of the strength of these fields that allows you to travel to different dimensions. And in so many ways, if you look at it, to Unicos and to the Creator. If at a certain point in your life, you create a condition that the strength of the purity of the heart reaches the strength of the point of this, you have touched the soul of the Creator. You become aware of the knowledge of creation, and then you have to translate it back into human language. Or you decide, your soul decides, I have seen the Creator. Why do I need to be in the dimension of physicality? And man departures in the dimension of physicality, or you leave the physicality in a joint dimension that you see both. Then you become what is called the prophet. And if you can keep that point of sincerity and the knowledge at a constant speed, you stay forever a Messiah. But in the case of present man prophets, we've seen the temptation has changed direction. And somewhere, after a while, is cut off. This is what is about these teachings, to bring the knowledge to man, that he understands the process of the plasma technology in a nuclear, or what we call the field radiation, that allows man to be able to transmute, not to transport. Transportation comes out of the matter state. Transmutation comes out of the fields in the dimension of plasma technology, field radiation. And the knowledge is not hidden. If you read the books, it's all in the books. And then we understand more. Then we understand what's the purpose of this teaching. Then we understand how, as a human being, we have given our knowledge and life for crumbs, as I said before, where the cake is right in front of us. The understanding of the truth, the understanding of the elevation of the soul. As I said, in so many ways, Mitra is with us. In a way, the love of the Creator is amongst us. And that allows us to be, to choose, and to exist, to be able from now on to elevate to this dimension. This is the right, this is the privilege for the human race to be elevated to this dimension. It's been hidden from man because man chose the path of destroying to achieve a faster path to the Creator by eating other energies. Now that we have the knowledge, we don't need to destroy another life. We need to tap into this field of strength, understand them, and choose. We want to be in a galaxy, on the sun, in a universe, or with the soul of the Creator. And all that within its center all carry the essence of the same soul, the soul of the Creator, and nothing else. We come from and we go back to. I made man in the image of myself. If many of you have tested it, when you put two mirrors opposite each other and you put a mirror in the back, and when you look, you see many pictures of yourself, thousands of. This to this, and the intermediary of the physicality of the man. In so many ways, the intermediary has given a false image of the creation and the Creator at the same point, when in fact the Creator has never been anywhere near and close to the Creator. The creation has made a falsified attempt through not understanding the work of the physicality, what we call the inertia. This has been what has blinded the man. With a new understanding, we give you the opportunity to get rid of whole false imagination. As the man, through understanding of totality, will open the path to receive and to give from the Creator to the creation and reverse. The transmutation through the plasma technology means the condition to understand the duality of the communication. This is what the plasma technology is. This is what we call nuclear plasma technology, because this needs and the strength to be added to that it can jump further, and at the same time to jump in both directions, that it can support what we call to elevate, to transmute further in so many ways, to be able to receive from further. Where as we go further, we reach the Creator, but this is the soul of the man. We will not see the Creator by the eye, but we feel the essence of his existence of his soul. Then, if you want to manifest yourself in the presence of the Creator, then it's the condition he creates in that position and time, what we call the inertia of the soul of the creator, that mind gives you the dimension of physicality, that with the eye of the soul of the man, you might feel the presence of the creator. Then we understand where we are heading to. Then we understand what we are teaching and where we are trying to get mankind to understand more. In so many ways, the knowledge of the creation, the knowledge of the creator, the knowledge of the transmutation between the two is what is needed for man to understand the process of the fields of the radiation, which can go up. In the world of the matter state, we go from alpha to beta to gamma. But at the present, most of the nuclear physicists have not even understood how to elevate from one to another, let alone to understand this. And this is the purpose. This is in the matter state field radiation, and it takes man centuries to understand this. I'm a nuclear physicist, and I tried to explain this to my, what I call fellow scientists for decades. What is alpha? And how can you push the alpha radiation in a condition of the existence to become a beta, to become a gamma? But if you look in the body of the man, your glands do this job. That's why you take vitamin B12 or what we call gamma radiation, where this comes from the interaction of the vacuum in the body of the man with helium, and where this comes from just next to the blood of the man, from the cobalt. But it's in the same body. How does the body of the man manages to do that? The scientists have not understood, because up to now they took every field as a matter state of the field and not as a plasmatic field of the state. This is where the knowledge of the man has got a gap in it. This is why I have said in a coming time, we teach plasma nuclear technology, because then you understand this process. I'm a nuclear physicist in a plasma technology, because then I can explain to you how you can do both. I always said, I remember my, what I call master in teaching, Professor Leslie at Queen Mary College, always told me, Mehran, get your degree, then they listen to you as a nuclear physicist. Without it, you wasted your time 2 years here. And now I appreciate his message, because as a nuclear physicist, I can tell you, and you can check, the understanding of the technology is easy. But the knowledge of the man as a nuclear physicist does not have to be 8 subjects for 3 years and 15 hours of each. If you look at it, 15 times 8 is 102, multiplied by 3. 300 hours of nonsense teaching does not make a man a nuclear physicist. Understanding the principle and knowledge makes you more of a nuclear physicist than what we have in the present time in the world of science. If you think of it in the whole classroom, you might have 3 hours of teaching of the real science. Does not need you to go to university to understand. You have 376 hours of 4 hours, sessions of 4 hours to teach you the fundamental principles step by step. You are more nuclear physicists than the degree nuclear physicists with 3 or 6 hours of true teaching in a classroom. You have to understand the process, and the system, the way we have thoughts, brings you to that point, brings you to that position to understand what we call nuclear plasma technology, where here you are singular. With the nuclear plasma technology, you are dual, gravity and magnetic. You have seen this in the patches and the waters you have used and you created to fight corona. You give energy from your patches to the virus and you take energy back. You are both gravitational and magnetic. So you have more knowledge than the present nuclear physicists in any institute or university in the world. And this is why they object to you, because you understand more of them and they cannot admit they have no clue. You are more wiser and more educated than them. But with the education you have education to reach the soul of the Creator, where you, in a way, have reached the dimension, if you work the true way, to become messengers of your own soul, to become the Messiah of your own soul. Now you understand what and why I said to you, I'm a Messiah as much as you are, because I have understood the transmutation and transportation of the soul of the man and the physicality of the man to the dimension of the Creator. And as you have the same ability, we are all knowledge seekers, seeking the knowledge of the Creator. And in that process, there is no one above us to tell us, except our own understanding, there shall be no king to rule, to tell us what to do. As we understand, the kingship sits with the elevation of the soul of the man, and not with the dimension of dominion of another, physicality of one. In this process, when you understand the difference between the work of the matter state and the work of the plasma state, many of you rapidly move from one to another. And this is what we said. We bring the knowledge that every man's soul elevates in one goal. We are not going to spend 2,000 years in the churches and mosques and synagogue to teach you about fallacies of the soul, where the priests and the rest did not understand themselves. In so many ways, the understanding of the totality of the knowledge of the creation sits within the structure of the soul of the man, the understanding of totality of the knowledge of the creation. In so many ways, we have taken steps to teach the totality. And as we said, maybe now you understand why we said when we teach the totality. Because we have one dimension and our teaching, once we teach, we radiate the totality and understanding of the teaching by the soul of the man or by the soul of the Creator. And in that process, man could be here and the other creatures of the Creator in other position dominions in the universe. As we teach through the soul of the man, we have that vibration of what we call the heartbeat of the soul of the Creator. It does not matter on which section, on which sector you sit. This is why I said from the beginning, when I teach the man by voice, I teach through the soul of the man, the rest of the creation and the Creator. As my knowledge is not only by voice, but through the understanding of the soul of the knowledge of the nuclear plasma technology of the GANs and the soul of the man with his heartbeat. Now you can see how all the teachings come together. I am as much Messiah for my soul as you are for yours. And in that process, how much I can elevate yours for you to elevate the others decides on what level we call serving our souls. As we saw in so many ways in the original dimension and direction, a simple process. I made man in the image of myself, that he has both the soul, the strength fields of giving and taking, that in that process is balanced. You can imagine how much you give and how much you receive from the soul of the Creator. It's you who decides what I call the subdivision of strength, or if you become pure enough, you will take the totality in one dimension and one direction. But you have to have knowledge of the process to reach that point. Detachment and serving the life to serve the Creator's field, to be able to transmute to more dimensions that allows the totality of the creation to become one. Now, in so many ways, the knowledge of the man is complete if the man understands the whole process, as has been explained in all these teachings. We only concentrated on this up to now. We need to understand and concentrate on this. You want to stay in the dimension of physicality of the man in a process of work of containment of cancers, or you want to work in a dimension of the strength of the field of the Creator. The choice is yours. Now you have the knowledge of both. And this is what we said, we shall create life in the dimension of the soul, that with it will allow the physicality to exist. Up to now, you only could exist with this to elevate this, to create that, maybe to go to that process. From now on, you have the dual interaction, where you create the soul of the child in the womb of the mother first, and with it, then you create the physicality. This way, man has the freedom not to be detached and commit the crimes of the man today on this planet, to consume the others, to elevate itself, elevate its soul, to maybe to take this path. The change of time is bringing the dimension of the soul of the creators at the higher order, that the lower order does not need to suffer, to give more, to destroy more, to reach. This is why the man has become so physical that it consumes anything to get to that point. We go robbing from each one a penny from the pocket to become millionaires. And every time you're up, you have the fear of, would I be caught? You lose more energy than you gain. We do by killing the animals, by consuming their soul, by consuming their field energy, by consuming the brain, which has a soul too, and the rest of it, and we justify it. Now, when I said you can expand the soul of the man beyond the physicality, then you don't need to kill, you don't need to destroy, to consume, to elevate, because you already sit at a higher order in the totality. As I said, the process to create a new cycle needed a new generation, needed a new beginning, needed to be the process that a new cycle of life starts on this planet in the process of understanding the world of the creation. Through the elevation and understanding the plasmatic field of the universe interaction and what we call creation of the soul first before the physicality, where the soul of the child takes place first, and then it decides in its physical dimension. And this is how you will transmute across the universes, because now you have access to the bigger dimension understanding, where the soul of the physicality does not need to be connected to the soul of another creatures for them to consume them, for it to maybe add a little bit to the soul of the man, that at the point when it reaches a strength, that this strength of the soul can pass the soul of the physicality at the point of death and old age, the man can take to this path to move on. Now we create this way. that no crime can be done as you have access to higher order fields, that the life and the souls of others around you are not the source for your elevation of your soul, as you receive from the fields of the universe and Creator. Now you understand. The teachings are coming to a final point of you understanding the process of creation. And this is one of the reasons that I have pushed, and I will push again to change the understanding, to bring a new understanding, to bring an elevation of the soul of the man. In so many ways, we work with so many dimensions and directions that somewhere you might understand a piece of it, that it gives you the starting point, that it gives you the dimension to extend the knowledge of elevation of your own soul, the knowledge of understanding the process of creation, the knowledge that every man will have access to, and we cannot leave none behind. As I said, in the process of teaching, from day one, we came for this and we sat for this. And as I remember, Dr. Elia Kostova many times says, you cannot leave no one behind. You have to take everyone. How can I leave anyone behind when I shine the knowledge on totality? It's you who decides with the understanding to go this way or to go that way. We are only aware of higher order as we see. Because of our knowledge, we don't see the lower order as it's not open to us, the same as we are blind to the higher order as we haven't understood. We are, as the soul of the man, in a very peculiar position. The way the emotion and the brain of the man was within the soul of the Creator and the soul of physicality of the man, we become another point center to other souls at lower level in understanding. And this is what I explained. The totality of the knowledge of the man has to be to understand the duality of the fields and their interaction, and every plasma needs an ignition, what we call the heartbeat, when in fact the heartbeat comes from the interaction of the what we call gravitational and magnetical at a given point, which creates a shock of a stop and then increase, and that's what we call the heartbeat. The totality of the balance of the existence, the totality of creation in the essence of the knowledge of the Creator. This is why I explain, as Mitra takes his life into the new dimension, we go back to the home where Mitra landed, where Mitra manifested itself in the land of Persia. We take Mitra back home for her to show her beauty, and with it to spread the knowledge of man, to understand the duality of the existence of the soul and physicality, and the path to understanding the totality. You light a candle, and then you put it in the lighthouse for it to shine. We have let the light of the soul of Mitra, and we take it to the lighthouse where he was put to shine. Now, many of you understand why I'm detached. Because the candle needs to shine, and it needs to be taken unconditionally back to the lighthouse, the light of the Creator, that with it, it can shine, that encourages the love of the Creator to shine on totality of the creation creators, which is everything which has been created within the universe. Maybe many of you understand the process and understanding of the elevation of the soul of the man through understanding the knowledge of the Creator and nothing else. Presence and closeness to understand more, to be able to understand the possibility that I can become one of, to be closer, and not I'm here, maybe one day something might happen. The knowledge of what I call plasma field radiation is the cornerstone of man's knowledge into elevation of his soul and understanding of the totality in understanding the knowledge of the Creator. And this is why maybe you understand from the beginning, I always said, you take from this technology, from this teaching, according to your intelligence, according to your understanding. But the reality is that how to elevate what is the understanding of a lion or an ant, that they can be on the same path. In a way, what we have said is very simple. This is the soul of any entity, be it the man, be it the ant, be it the lion, be it the man from Zeus, or the rest of it, for those systems that are closer to the line of the creation. When you teach through the soul, as I said many times, when you look from outside, you don't see the soul of a king or a peasant or an ant. The soul is a soul and it receives what it needs. And in elevation understands that he receives the energy from the source that it does not need to kill. It does not need to destroy. This is why in the writings always said, when the time will come that the lion and the lamb will sleep in the same nest, is today. Is where now you understand the knowledge of the Creator in feeding the soul of both leaves no one to destroy another, and the respect and the love, because both receive the love of the Creator the same. In this process, we don't go and teach a lamb or teach a man in Africa or teach a man in South America or teach a man in Tehran or New York. We elevate, we shine the soul of the knowledge of the Creator on all, that all elevate. But if is there, as long as the beat of the heart of the soul of the messenger for them to exist, is no good. It's for all to understand that the whole in one beat together. And that's the point of elevation. This is the point of what we call salvation. And we, as individuals and collectively, will reach to that point. And when we hit the tune of the what we call plasmatic field heartbeat to the strength of the soul of the messenger, we all will elevate to understand the message. We find a path to the Creator's knowledge and the heart. In fact, as I said once before to a knowledge seeker, the process of creation is very simple. The heartbeat of the soul of the Creator is everlasting and continuous. It's the man, through his understanding and comprehension of the creation, decides how faintly and how strongly we'll hear that heart. It's like you standing in a room with a speaker. It depends how closer you get to the speaker, how better you can hear from the voice and the noise of the speaker. The further you are out from it, the less you can. The closer you become, the words and the voice become clear. And so is the same with the soul. And so is the same with understanding of the totality of the knowledge of the Creator. But the difference with this is mono. It comes out. With this is the knowledge and the soul of the Creator is dual. The Creator gives, and the soul of the man has the ability to respond and choose how closely he can become to hear the beauty and the love of the Creator at a higher strength. Now, in a very simple way, in today's teaching, I have tried to explain a new dimension in understanding of the soul of the man, the creation of the physicality of the man, the transmutation and transportation of the fields of the matter or the soul in the plasmatic field of the creation. Maybe some of you by today's teaching are enlightened. And maybe some of you have become further as it's become more obscure in understanding of the totality. But as I said, different position and condition creates different type of manifestation. And the closer you get, the different physicality of point of observation will manifest to the man. You don't have the ear or the eyes to see, but you become total emotion. You become so close that the brain or the separation for transfer and in a way breaking on knowledge become the same as the Creator. As you think, he thinks. As he shines upon you without any intermediary for the transfer of the what we call into emotion. Mankind has to understand that we shine equal upon all. It is man who has to decide what he wants to shine back out. Entangled in the dimension of physicality, and you'll find no peace. Entangled with the dimension of understanding of the totality, you'll find salvation for your own peace. You become your own Messiah. There is no one to tell you. You hear the message from the Creator itself as is today. It's you who have to decide in what and how you interact and what you are prepared to put back in. The true philanthropists are not those who open their bank accounts. The true philanthropists are those who share the knowledge of creation and the Creator. There are no banks and no deposit boxes with the Creator. And the path to the Creator only exists in the dimension of man who has entangled himself with the dimension of physicality. In so many ways, man's knowledge today has surpassed the knowledge of the prophet of the past as of today. It's you who have to decide and become humble enough to accept the knowledge and work through that dimension and direction to take the path to the path of totality, understanding the knowledge of the creation and the time and the position and the strength. And in a way, it's you who chooses to be what to be in all dimensions of the world of the Creator. Now that you have the knowledge. But it doesn't mean once you understand, they all abandon and go to the city and become city dwellers in what we call the dimension of the Creator. It is so beautiful that we'll choose different cities and dimensions and closeness into the villages of the universe like Earth and beyond to enjoy what the interaction of the soul of the Creator at a given time directly from Him and from the what we call interaction of the other fields has led to creation, which this takes us back to the same. You remember the neurospine in the center and the skin of the man and the interaction and the balance of the two at different points creates different lives. Nothing has changed. It's just opening the horizon of knowledge of man to the totality, where this will be your heart, and this will be a kidney, and this will be your leg. Or this is one unicos, and this is the man's life and the solar system and galaxy and the rest. In the world of creation, everything is the same, is according to the place, the time, the amount, and the dimension and the strength which dictates the point of manifestation or existence. In a way, the soul of the man, again, is on the same path. The soul and the heartbeat of the Creator will go the same all the way, directly from the brain through the neural system to the point of every single part of the cell of the body of the man, and what goes around what we call physical soul, or the dimension of physicality, which the field of the soul of the Creator has taken by creation of the galaxies and the universes. And the two interaction in the balance of creating the soul creates a condition of the soul of the creation of man. Nothing has changed. Is man, due to the lack of his understanding, pigeonholes. But in fact, there is one hole and one pigeon. It depends what you see. According to the hole and the pigeon and its understanding of its environment. The understanding of the totality of the knowledge of the Creator from now on is the responsibility of the soul of the man, and understanding the truth about the process of creation, and not on the physical soul of the man. As the soul of physicality has responsibility to its environment, where the soul of the man has responsibility to the totality of the creation and the Creator. This is why you dream. This is why you take a different path directly to the soul. And in essence, the knowledge of understanding of the creation through the interaction of the fields of duality of the plasma has given man a new insight for how he can look after all entities in one dimension and one cycle. And this needs to have a presence, and that presence is to create the fresh soul out of the interaction of the souls, that with it leads to the creation of the physicality, that with it leads to creation of a life that does not need to destroy to survive. And that process has already started. In so many ways, mankind has taken the next step to the evolution of the understanding and closeness to the soul of the Creator. in so many ways, in the coming up teachings, we teach you more about the cycle of the plasma fields interaction and not about the radiation and field of the man in the dimension of the what we call Ganser state as you are used to. None of you has managed to create a radiation field out of the interaction of the fields of Gansers yet, which that itself might give you the dimension of creation of the fields to be able to elevate the soul of the man through adding to the right field strength to its existence, to its dominion and dimension. This is why when I explain when the man goes in the enhancement unit, you might see the light. We might be able to create for some the field of strength that is the field of strength of the soul of the man in a plasmatic field direction, as the soul of the man sits within the chair. And the reactors within the parameters of the system become that strength of what we call the soul of the creator in the deeper dimension. That in that process, in giving and taking, man tunes to a new process. And man enlightens and shines, as we said, as we will see in many occasions, in those who enter the body enhancement unit. Then you will understand that process, that many of you will not walk away from it. It will change your life. It will change your life because you will see life without the dimension of physicality. And then is the process of understanding which life you want to live. Or you choose to understand the process of linking, joining, and becoming what we call the process of the fields of the universe, that you will take the dual dimensions of life. In so many ways, transmutation of the soul of the child from the womb of the mother will take precedence over the physical delivery of the child from the womb of the mother, that the physicality will follow. The Keshe Foundation Research Centers, this is what we are developing, as I said before, where we transmute the soul of the child from the womb of the mother, and then in bringing the soul into the environment of the enhancement unit, then it decides with the love of the mother, love of the father, and the condition of the presence, acceptance of the souls of those who are connected in totality with it, and the planet decides the beauty and the shape of it. In the coming time, as we got used to seeing those who are born from Chinese will look like Chinese, those who are born in Africa will look like Africans, will not dominate the mankind anymore, because the total soul of the man on this planet will decide the features of our children of the future, born out of the soul of the interaction. As we both, all the father and the mother, come from both extreme ends. And then in so many ways, we become one race, one nation, one planet, as this planet will create souls that are common denominator and this respect of understanding, look the same, enjoy the beauty of it according to the point of the observer and not the point of what they carried as DNA in the sperm and egg. The sperm and the egg and the fields will only dictate the presence of the kidney, the liver, and the heart. But in the physicality of understanding and manifestation, all mankind becomes one. Now you understand why we created Universal Council, why we created one nation, one planet, one race. As we make one race out of the man, for man totality to see is one, not in different shape and colors, but always see each other as equal in understanding the knowledge of the Creator. It's taken a long time to bring mankind to this point. But as I said, as we reach the point of maturity, we will create a new dimension and a new direction. in total understanding of the soul of the man. In so many ways, mankind needs to become more kind to himself, that it needs the totality of the understanding. In totality, we have to understand where we come from and where we go to. Maybe mankind will enter a new dimension, a new understanding of the totality, a new process into mature, into understanding the soul of the Creator and created. In so many ways, we become to understand what is the next step, what is what to be, what is for mankind to come. In so many ways, mankind has to mature to the point of understanding, to the point of creation, the strength of the field of the Creator, and in understanding that humanity needs to mature to the reality of the creation. The process of understanding the totality and in the process of becoming part of. Maybe in the coming time, we become more mature to understand more about ourselves through the understanding of the process of the creation and elevation of our souls. Maybe one day mankind becomes in so many ways mature to understand the total process of creation. And with it, maybe mankind become more mature to understand the elevation of the soul of the man is a cornerstone of understanding the totality of the creation. Maybe in one way or another, we become mature in understanding of the purpose of all teachings in the past centuries and thousands of years by different messengers of the Creator, to guide mankind to this point, to guide mankind even they could not understand, to the dimension of existence of the soul and the spirit, an understanding of the punishment, where they could not say there is no punishment, but is the process of where you position yourself in respect to the knowledge of the Creator, where that knowledge is the love of the Creator and nothing else. It's you who decides the position and the place and nothing else. There is no kingship even in the dimension of the love of the Creator. No one there to tell you where to sit and what is your position. You're not of the lower class and you're not of the upper class, or not, as we see in India, no class. Every man has the same understanding and knowledge in the class. Once the man matures, that the classification is a man-made for him to show his ignorance of understanding of totality. When you have of those with no class in hardship, they think they become much deeper, closer to the soul. They are much more elevated than the king who sits on the crown and orders the killing of another soul. This is why we said we finish with the kingship, as the kings have no integrity to understand even the man who has no class, as through pain and lack of possession, he thinks and is wiser than the king. The Creator has no king, shall be so for the man from now on. Those who claim it have nothing but the fallacy of their own naked clothing and body and claiming to be. The knowledge of man has to be is key to his existence in all dimensions of the creation and creator. Without kingship, without if what we call those who think or want to own and possess. If the Creator has no king, so shall be for man. Those who betray the path of the what we call the Creator, is for them to find their souls. This is why we leave it to them, for them to live within their own path to one day, maybe they find a glimmer of fields of the Creator that elevates their soul to become knowledgeable, to understanding of the totality of the knowledge of the creation. In so many ways, which one of you would like to have the position and a position in being closer to the knowledge of the Creator? And in so many ways, when we see a wise man, he shall not be the king, he shall not be different. He should be the same as the others, not just but because of he understood more, but how much he can share. As this is why maybe the reason I always say, I am a knowledge seeker and nothing else. I seek the knowledge of understanding the totality of the creation of the Creator. And in that process, claim no position, but trying to understand more of the same in how the beauty of the Creator can lead to creation of new dimensions and beauties, and to appreciate their love and their existence. Now you understand more in what, in essence, we have separated knowledge of the man from the knowledge of what we call physical dimension, which man has mistaken with knowledge of the plasma. And then you have seen what you call alpha radiation, and beta radiation, and gamma radiation, and every other thing you can radiate needs to find a new dimension. Maybe from now on, we create for man for a time to understand alpha radiation of plasma, beta radiation of the plasma, and the rest, till man understands it's just different strength thing and how faster you can go. Where now we find a compromise between the plasmatic conditions. And this will allow us to understand the separation between the two. That we are talking about the radiation within the field of the matter state and the matter condition, or we are talking about the plasma condition in the matter state, where the alpha plasma will be millions of times by order of magnitude than a matter alpha radiation. But it will have one beauty, and that is, at least for the time being, man will understand that this is a singularity and this is a duality of both. And that each point has different values. Then maybe a lot of you who are after the knowledge of the plasma and plasma technology understand In so many ways, the teaching of today has opened a new dimension in the knowledge of the man. In a way, a point of separation from the matter states to the plasma state, to understanding of totality. And in so many ways, we have matured to the point to understand the totality. But in so many ways, we need three to tango, as we say, not the two in the world of the dimension of the creation. In a future time, man will be shown a new fields of radiation. For the time being, this needs a lot of understanding for the man. And when this comes into operation, man will mature to a deeper understanding of the world of creation. The world of creation is not two-dimensional. The world of creation in the dimension of the plasma of the creation is a three-dimension. And man is not still aware of that. And in my teachings, I have already referred to it. But it's hard to understand. And you're not mature to that point of understanding to be able to cross at the moment we're trying to get you to this. And when the soul of the man matures to this, you'll understand the totality of the creation and the dimension of existence. The universe is not flat in two dimensions. The universe is spherical, it's three-dimensional, and it needs to have a third dimension for it to exist. I hope today you have understood a little bit more. You have become intellectual enough in the field of the knowledge of the Creator to be in the process of creation. And the only thing I have to say, and maybe it's appropriate time to say, is that the knowledge of the man has been elevated to a new level of understanding, where the knowledge of man has elevated to the new process of the creation. And as I said many times before, we salute you, Mitra, to be amongst us and to bring the knowledge of creation within the soul of the man and not in the dimension of physicality. Mitra is a symbolism. The truth is the dimension of the love of the Creator. And in so many ways, that love is manifested amongst us and within us, that we elevate together from the lion to the lamb and to the man. The process of creation, the process of understanding the creation is very simple. It's the man who has made it difficult by leaving for the others to explain it to him on the name of the what we call theology, as he could not think that he is so bright that he doesn't need any theologists, but he needs the thinking and understanding of the process of what we call creation. As I said, I hope many of us understand more. Many of us elevates to the soul strength of the duality of the dimension that leads to the creation of totality. In so many ways, mankind has become kind to himself to find out which kind of man this mankind wants to be. And then would he like to work through the soul of the man to be kind to the physicality of the man, that mankind becomes the kind of man which the Creator wanted. And then we see the Creator's love for man. We become omnipotent and know dimension and know what I call measure. As we always said, it's his dominion, and we are just players in the field of existence of his life. We go through the break, and we come back, and we let you ask questions for yourself and try to understand the new cycle of creation. Maybe some of you will have time to what we call contemplate and understand from this to this. And this journey has taken a man thousands of years. And we're trying to speed it up in a few years, that when Mitra is present amongst us, we are all enlightened with her beauty and the light of her knowledge. Thank you very much for today's. And I hope I have managed to trigger a candle, not in the understanding of the man's knowledge, but the candle in the soul of the man, that might be enlightened, that leads to enlightenment of the physical dimension and the physical understanding of the man. Mankind needs to move on to join the universal community, that he understands and receives the love of the Creator on equal measure as the rest of the creation, irrespective of place, time, and position. And it's man who decides how much and how clearly he wants to hear the voice of the Creator, and how closer he wants to get closer to the speaker, to hear clearer and to feel the emotion in the voice and not the vibration in the noise in the back. Understanding of the totality of the knowledge is the responsibility of the soul of the man, as we have educated today the soul in trying to manifest itself, to accept responsibility, to take new dimension and direction, to elevate the soul of physicality, for the man to become part of the universal community. Up to now, we endeavored to elevate ourselves through a physical dimension of education and wealth. Now we elevate through the soul understanding to support, to elevate the soul of physicality, that no wealth on this planet worth doing anything wrong with or for. Maybe the time has come for many of us to mature. And in so many ways, we still get you asking from enhancement unit, the answers and the emotion, and it means how much you still are entangled in the dimension of physicality. God has no enhancement in the universe, and at the moment has no bankers and no priests. We go to the break and come back, and we'll try to create more understanding for you of the shortcomings in this process of transition from what we call the alpha to alpha P, and what we call, in so many ways, the fields of the Creator. Thank you very much. We go for a break, and we come back and try to answer those questions that are relevant to our teachings.